Hey there, thanks for being here with us at Rose Quartz Mediumship Patreon. This is our last month on Patreon. We are going to be transitioning over to a membership on our own website at rosequartzmediumship.com. That membership will include weekly content, a meditation, a lesson, an exercise, and a class held via Zoom. We will continue to do tarot videos and monthly metaphysical or spiritual videos that will be posted on YouTube moving forward for free. This is our September tarot message. So we're going to take a moment and see what September has in store for us. This is the Light Seer Tarot deck. Today's September reading is going to be the Light Seer Tarot deck and the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck, both of which are decks that I simply adore. The bottom of the deck I always view as the shadow card for the month. It is always exciting for me in the fall, the space between the spiritual world and the earthly world become much thinner. So that veil becomes thin, and for me, I love the closeness with spirit. All right. So I'm going to read the card that came out of the shamanic deck for you, but first we're going to go over the Light Seer Tarot deck. So we have 3 cards in reverse, and that to me says that the month of September, we might feel some resistance. We might feel some static, so to speak. But all of the cards are really beautiful cards, and it is, to me, just a reminder that if you find yourself in a state of resistance, look for a different lens. Honor the resistance just as much as you honor the flow in your life. The resistance has something to teach you and to tell you about yourself. I always view resistance as an opportunity to look at healing. There's something in me that is asking to be heard that I might not be being as present with. Resistance oftentimes is a part of us that we are not giving equal time at the table to. So if you find the month of September bringing a lot of resistance for you, another way of viewing that is an opportunity to change. So we have the Empress in the upright position. And for me, this card in this deck just always reminds me to get into nature, to be with nature. This is a time where being in nature is incredibly impactful, both from a grounding standpoint as well as from a mentorship standpoint. And I will say that right now this is hitting me, that we've got this beautiful statue here and then almost the exact same thing on the card. So it is always neat when those things happen for me, that a little reinforcement coming through. So the way that I'm receiving this card is to remember your divine feminine, to be in nature, to slow down. Maybe in the month of September, you might find yourself being too busy. And this is a beautiful opportunity for you to be in divine feminine energy, to be instead of doing, to get yourself out into nature for moments of silence, for meditation through movement. Maybe you're going to take a walk outside. Nature has a lot to offer you. And in the month of September, that advice, that knowledge might be something that you're needing. All right, our other 3 cards are in the reverse position. So we've got the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, and for me, that says that we have everything that we need in home and finances. Life is so beautiful in the Ten of Pentacles, right? But there's some resistance that we're feeling. Maybe, as I'm saying this, what's coming up for me is maybe we have some fear around life being really good. Maybe we have some story that is in our mind that life can't be this good. But the reality is that it can be, and it should be. And nothing is going to be perfect. You're going to have chaos. You're going to have change. You're going to have good days and bad days. But the Ten of Pentacles is reminding us of everything that we do have. And I would invite you to show gratitude and be present with all of the beautiful things that you have in your life, in your reality. The King of Wands was in reverse, and so this is, for me, as I'm feeling into this, the combination of the Empress and the King of Wands in reverse says maybe we're too far in Divine Masculine in the month of September, and maybe we want to remember that Divine Masculine energy is so stunning. It's so stunning. But when we spend too much time in it, we can get burnt out. And we can end up in a toxic masculinity kind of situation where we are in fear, we are grasping for control, we are doing too much, we are producing too much. And so maybe this is an invitation in the month of September to find a balance, right? We've got the fall equinox in the month of September where we really focus on balance. And so maybe this is the invitation through this tarot message to find a state of balance between Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine in the month of September. Maybe we need to look at where we are doing or producing too much and we're not spending enough time being and in that flowy state. And then the Wheel in reverse. So we may feel, again, some resistance. We may feel like life is hard in the month of September. And for me, that's always an invitation to change. It's always an invitation to look at what do I need to release? What do I need to shift? What do I need to change in my reality so that I find more flow? And so if you feel like things are hard right now, I would just encourage you to pull back, care for yourself, bring in some additional self-care, and look at what in your reality needs to be released so that you can have a different experience. Our shadow card is the Death and Rebirth. I just love this for the month of September. This is a time where we are going to work intensely with our ancestors. You're going to see a lot of ancestral energy coming through your reality, whether you acknowledge it or not. You're going to see a lot of releasing and letting go. Nature does it. You'll watch the trees. If you're in an area where trees drop their leaves, change, you're going to see this beautiful display right before they release. And so there is a death and rebirth process there. The month of September, we've got the fall equinox, which is all about balance. And we go from being very outward in, the summer months to going inward a bit more. And so there is a death process there. There's a letting go of all of the external stimulation, all of the chaos, all of the fun that happened over the summer, and into a time where we're more introspective, where we start looking at what do we want out of this life and am I aligning with it? And so this is a really beautiful opportunity in the month of September to start leaning into that, leaning into the death and rebirth process and recognizing just how beautiful it really is. And the card that we got out of the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck is the Time Master. which feels just perfect for the month of September. So I'm going to read this card to you. And I'll hold it up so that you guys can see it, the visual of it, as I'm reading the card to you. It is a really beautiful card. The essence. Time is a construct of the human mind through which life events are seen to flow in a straight line, from past to future. This, however, is an illusion. Time moves in patterns, fractals, sometimes turning like a wheel, and others moving straight as an arrow. Humans see time as a ticking clock, and this image reminds us that there is only so much of it to spend in a life, like a kind of currency. At any given moment, you can see time in all of its infinite potential. At once vast and all-encompassing, then shrunken and finite. It all depends upon your perspective. The invitation. When the Time Master visits you, he asks a most important question. Will you break free from limited cause and effect thinking by moving beyond the linear illusion and welcoming the cyclic quality of time? You find yourself in a moment when the wheel of time turns, and you're able to influence the past, thus changing the present and the future simultaneously. This is the true test of a Time Master. You're being invited to take back your power. So let go of the past and choose to step into your life. In this moment, you are all powerful. You are the Time Master. Anything is possible. The medicine. Sometimes it appears that you are running out of time. You worry you won't get where you need or want. Everything gets stuck like a log jam. This is only in your mind. Time expands and contracts according to your ability to be mindful and observant. Fully engage in your now. It's time to release the story of your past. Equally, it's time to release the need to know the details of your future. I love that because that is exactly what we talked about in the spiritual video for the month of September. All the treasure magic reveals itself when you remain relaxed and present to what is directly in front of you and nothing else. Then you realize you have all of the time in the world. You will never run out of it. I really like that message. I think it's a really beautiful one, in particular in the month of September, where we do have the opportunity to cross some spaces. We can look at ancestral healing and play with time and play with energy between time, right? So if there's ancestral patterning that you are wanting to break, the month of September and October are such beautiful months to be doing that work. And the Time Master message, I think, is just such a gorgeous one that sometimes we get stuck in a very linear way of thinking around time. And I would just invite you to ask yourself, does that work for me? Does it serve me well? And if the answer is no, it's not serving you well, then play with more non-linear approaches. The month of September, the veil starts to get very, very thin and will continue through the month of October. And so our ability to engage with spirit in all of its various different ways becomes much easier, much more simple for us to play with spirit and to be with spirit and to work with spirit. And so time is something that you can bring into the spirit realm and watch it shift and change and watch you shift and change. So I love that message here for the month of September, and I And I know I will be playing with time here in the month of September as the veil becomes so thin and our ability to be in spirit in all of its various different ways becomes more accessible and more easy and more readily available for all of us. Thank you for being here with us at Rose Quartz Mediumship. This is our last Patreon video, but we will be posting monthly tarot and spiritual videos on YouTube moving forward.